It's becoming increasingly rare to find a game that lets you and a friend or two play side by side on the couch. However, while split-screen multiplayer may be becoming a thing of the past, for now, you can still find a game here or there. There are lots of great co-op games on Xbox, many of them offering satisfying stories to beat with a friend. However, if you want to play with a friend while shooting aliens or rekindle a failed relationship with your partner, in-game, of course, then these 2+ player Xbox titles are for you. What's left to say about this enormous collection of sci-fi spectaculars really? Every campaign in Halo, the Master Chief Collection is available to play in 2-player local co-op, and potentially more players online, and there's probably not a better series to gorge on than this one if you and a partner or two are looking for sci-fi shooter shenanigans with a little more heart and class than the usual fare. Some of the best Xbox co-op experiences ever have come from the Gears of War series. Gears 5, in particular, is a wonderful co-op third-person cover shooter. It supports 3-player split-screen play, with 2 playing as soldiers while 1 controls a supporting robot. The campaign revolves around the protagonist Kate Diaz, who attempts to figure out her mysterious past. Meanwhile, humanity is amid a war with the dangerous swarm creatures. It's a story that is impressively well written, according to reviewer Brandon McIntyre. Yet, equally enjoyable are some of the other modes, such as Horde, which tasks you with surviving waves of enemies. This mode can also be played in co-op. Our 9/10 review of It Takes Two called the experience an absolute delight that's on a par with, if not better than, any other co-op experience available on Xbox today. So yeah, we reckon it's pretty good. Hazelight has plenty of experience with co-op games, of course, and It Takes Two is yet another example of a game designed and built from the ground up for 2 players in local, or online, co-op. It's mesmerizing, clever, and emotional stuff, this one, and easily one of the best co-op experiences currently out there. Following up on the incredible cult hit phenomenon Remnant from the Ashes is no easy task, but Gunfire Games' second outing in the universe, Remnant 2, is an incredible co-op game worth playing, regardless of your experience with the first game, or lack thereof. In Remnant 2, you can choose from a variety of Remnant 2's best classes in this challenging Souls-like with a focus on guns, and fortunately, you can bring friends along for the ride. It's rare that a game is only playable in co-op, but that's exactly what A Way Out does. Whether you're splashing the water to usher fish to each other, going back to back to shimmy up a wall gap, passing a chisel between cells to find an exit route, or even just playing Connect 4 or a game of basketball, the co-op never feels like an added extra. It's all built for you to enjoy together in a way that's satisfying and worthwhile regardless of the scale of the interaction. Rocket League blends racing games and football, aka soccer, games together. To put it simply, the title allows you to play football with cars. You use these rocket-powered vehicles to knock a large ball around a pitch and attempt to smash it into your opponent's net. Like in real football, you generally play on a team, and one of your teammates can be a person sitting next to you. As Rocket League allows split screen, the 2 of you, and perhaps a couple of others, can face off against another crew online. Fortnite is a shining example of a game that gets more fun the more friends you have playing with you, and what's even better is that its insanely popular Battle Royale mode is totally free. Weekly challenges keep things fresh so you have something new to do every week, and as each season comes and goes there are new updates thrown in and major map changes as the story subtly evolves. This selection will be a little out there for many, but stick with us. Warhammer, Chaosbane is a brilliant ARPG much like Diablo or Path of Exile. The Slayer Edition offers a souped-up version specifically for the Xbox Series X, adding all additional content, as well as 4K visuals. You and a friend can select from a variety of classes familiar with the Warhammer universe and start plowing through waves of enemies like a hot knife through butter. It's mindless fun that offers a kick of adrenaline every so often as encounters become increasingly more difficult. While there is a story in play here, there is no prior knowledge of the Warhammer universe needed and everything is laid out in simple terms. This allows you to enjoy it as a generic fantasy ARPG with fun and engaging combat. Diablo 4 should, as we put it in our 9/10 review of the game, keep even the most die-hard demon slayers busy for a very long time. Not only is the main campaign here enough to keep seasoned dungeon crawlers engaged for eons, but the entire thing is playable in slick drop and slash out local and online co-op, so there's no need to feel lonely as you go toe-to-toe with hell's meanest minions. This is a game with legs too. We're only getting started in terms of content, so for folk with long-term plans in mind for their party of 2, there's plenty of reason to jump into this latest Blizzard offering. For many years, the Borderlands games have provided some of the best cooperative shooter experiences in gaming. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a spin-off to that series. It is similar to Borderlands from a gameplay perspective, as it is an FPS with RPG elements. However, Wonderlands differs from the others due to its world. Instead of being set on Pandora or other similar planets, the adventure is primarily set within a fantasy tabletop game. As such, you fight plenty of goblins and other D&D-like creatures. Plus, there are many jokes poking fun at certain tabletop tropes. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the highest-rated games of all time, currently joint top of Metacritic with Elden Ring on a score of 96, so we really don't need to hype this bad boy up anymore. You already know you're looking at an all-timer RPG that's gonna sit a good long while on its throne. We played through the entire incredible campaign solo for our 10 out of 10 review last year, and it was only on a second playthrough that we had some pals join us for the ride. Does it make an already incredible experience even better? Well, it depends on your mates, but we reckon so, and it all works so flawlessly that playing through this bona fide banger with a partner, or three, in tow is a guaranteed premium grade night in. Minecraft has transcended normal video game parameters and become a sort of way of life for lots of folk. It's an educational tool as much as it is anything else, and a game that brings people together naturally through its seamless co-op that allows you to adventure, build, create, and explore with a bunch of your mates. We've played through this game for the story with our kids, as well as for the fun of building and messing about with pals, and it just never gets old. Minecraft has been around for a very long time for lots of reasons, and its freewheeling co-op play is chief amongst them. One for the racers out there, Dirt 5 is the first true racing experience built for the Xbox Series X, and it shows. Fantastic visuals alongside a solid frame rate offer the ultimate thrill ride as you travel around the world racing on all sorts of terrain. With split-screen racing, Dirt 5 allows you to settle your arguments on the track. With so many races and vehicle types to choose from, you can go straight and serious or get extreme with your couch co-op sessions. Of course, you cannot talk about expansive open-world RPGs without mentioning the indie gem, Outward. This incredibly ambitious indie game likely went under the radars of a lot of players, despite being a truly rewarding experience. Not only does it completely redefine what we've come to know as an RPG, but it also allows you to experience the whole thing in its DLCs with a friend. The difficulty of Outward's combat coupled with its harsh and unforgiving world makes trekking through it with a friend that much more of an adventure. There's something immensely satisfying about the camaraderie between two suffering souls. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War isn't a complete split-screen game, as several modes don't include the feature. Yet, the FPS title does allow you to split your screen and invite a buddy onto the couch for its famous zombie mode. Zombies has been a part of the series for many years now. Yet, Black Ops Cold War offers one of the best ever versions of the mode. If it were playable on current-gen consoles, Portal 2 would likely top this list. Right now, you can only play Portal 2 on PC, but don't hold that against it. If you have a desktop or laptop that can run it, and most can, and a friend that can do the same, then you're in for one of the best co-op experiences of your life. The co-op campaign is a noticeable jump in difficulty from the already fiendish original. Not only will you and a friend, who each control a lovable robot, have to put your heads together to figure out how to finish a test chamber, but you'll often have to time your movements and actions just right. If one player jumps a split second early, or activates a button too late, the whole plan falls apart. Although you can play Sea of Thieves solo, this is very much a game that encourages you to tell stories, and, more importantly, create those tales with other people. Galleons can be sailed by crews of up to 4, with adventures spinning out from the various voyages you undertake. That might be finding buried treasure, collecting goods to trade with the merchants, or hunting down undead pirate captains. Or, you know, fighting a kraken or taking on a huge skeleton fort. Ark: Survival Evolved is a highly successful survival crafting game that is often forgotten about. It's led to countless spin-off titles and expansions and constantly sees an influx of new players. It takes a lot of what Minecraft did so well and mashes that with everyone's love of dinosaurs and weird creatures. In many of the popular survival crafting games today, it's mostly about supplying a sandbox of fun mechanics and systems and letting the players develop their own memorable experiences by simply playing together. And, in a co-op setting, Ark Sandbox allows you to do some pretty crazy things. The LEGO series of games have always been commended for including engaging split-screen co-op. Many of you likely have fond childhood memories of whacking one another with lightsabers in the cantina. So, it comes as no surprise that TT Games included split-screen multiplayer in LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which knocks the old ones out of the park, as James Troughton says in their review. The ability to play this truly enormous game with a friend is a genuine delight. With 380 characters for you and a friend to choose from and a range of explorable planets, there's a ton to see and do here. It's a little-known fact that Supermassive Games titles are co-op friendly, and the Quarry is the best yet. Whether you're a fan of horror or not, these games offer an atmospheric roller coaster like nothing else on the Xbox Series X. You can use the Movie Night feature to play in co-op, which allows you and a friend to select which characters you'll be in control of. The game is very clear in letting players know who is in control at what time, allowing for a smooth experience with little confusion. While more of a shared screen experience, Cuphead gets a pass purely on its distinctive art style and clever boss fights. Cuphead is an incredibly challenging game but rewards excellent teamwork and communication, which is also why it belongs on this list. Overcoming impossible odds with a buddy by your side is an incredible feeling and will surely give everyone involved a surge in adrenaline. Borderlands has always been better with friends. What good is a shotgun that chains electric damage between enemies, or a rifle that spits out bouncing saw blades, if you haven't got a buddy at your side to watch it in action? The main attraction of the series has always been finding ever wackier guns to shoot at ever wackier enemies, and Borderlands 3 is the wackiest in the series so far. Many weapons have absurd alternate fire modes, and the world is bigger and far more varied. In previous Borderlands, loot was shared between players, which meant you had to fight over the best guns. You can play Borderlands 3 that way. It's called Competition, but in cooperation mode you'll get your own discrete pile of weapons showering out of enemies, so you never have to share. The remaster of the first two Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters came out on all the latest platforms. Back when they were originally around in the late 90s to early 2000s, they were seen as some of the greatest skating games ever. This remaster has brought them back in pretty much all their glory, as the collection is every bit as fun as it is nostalgic, so says Sam Watanuki in their review. They still contain excellent soundtracks, eye-catching tricks, and satisfying skating. They're even more fun when playing in split screen. While Halo Infinite split-screen campaign will unfortunately never be officially released, you can still kick back and play its multiplayer alongside your trusty Spartan companion. In the arena modes, you can play up to 4 players in split-screen mode, with big team battle limited to only 2 players. Still, with the long-awaited Forge mode finally out, the multiplayer co-op experience is about to get even better, which will hopefully be enough to soften the blow of the anticipated campaign features not making the cut. Think Left 4 Dead with space dwarves and you won't be far off. Deep Rock Galactic is a team-based shooter where you and up to 3 stout friends rocket into a procedurally generated planet in search of minerals. To find what you want, you'll each have to use your class-specific abilities, slinging grappling hooks, creating platforms, lighting up dark caves, and blowing holes in the scenery to create new paths. Every so often, a swarm of alien spiders will jump on you, and you'll be forced back to back, pulling your trigger for dear life. Overcooked and its follow-up sequel, Overcooked 2, are technically a shared screen experience, but it's hard to find a better multiplayer experience in gaming. You play as chefs who have to work together to meet the need of your customers. As the story unfolds and the levels move forward, the challenges become more stress-inducing and hectic. They're excellent pick-up-and-play titles that don't require tons of previous gaming skills or experience and can be a blast for families, couples, dates, and much more. Just know they're not responsible for any breakups or divorces, but you are responsible for getting those paying customers their orders on time. We called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge a lovingly crafted and supremely entertaining return to the glory days of early 1990s Turtles action in our 9/10 review last year. This is a game made with a deep and knowing love for the arcade classics, and, just like back in the olden days of smoky rooms full of school pals, here you can rinse every mode on offer in local and online co-op. What's more, you can have up to 6 players on screen at any one time, and the game only gets more fun as the enemy count and difficulty adjusts to the increased head count. This a fantastic retro side-scroller, made all the better in a 2-player setting or with a full squad of pizza-loving pals. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.